Afternoon all. I'm with my good friend Paul Georgiou today. Paul made a fantastic discovery. Hi Paul.
Hi Trev. We're going to look at this game that Triff played the other day, where his opponent resigned, but he possibly had a saving resource. We're not sure if it's drawing or not.
But otherwise the play was pretty Karpovian, wasn't it? With the knight on d5, it was quite impressive play up until that point, wasn't it?
Well, I didn't actually see the early part of the game at all, but it looked like typical Sicilian strategy.
Well, okay, let's focus on the final position anyway, and people can check that other video. But in the final position, it did seem as though black didn't have many moves, apart from this one and the queen being able to move. These pawns are like immobile, and the king also had no moves. And Paul, when I was showing Paul the YouTube, he mentioned a stunning resource. I wonder if you guys can guess it that black has. I've given you a little clue. If I give you 10 seconds, can you guess the stunning resource which Paul discovered here? Which, if black had more time, he only had like 20 seconds anyway, to be fair. But maybe if he had more time, if it was a long game, there's a fantastic resource to be discovered here, it seems. So I'll give you 10 seconds to try and find it, or stop the video, starting from now. Okay. At first glance, black seems helpless against this threat of mating, but a draw is better than a loss. And so the move that Paul discovered is actually queen takes b3 check. And you might think, what does this do? Well, if the king takes it, then a4 check, and it's going to be the stalemate, believe it or not. If the king moves anywhere or takes the pawn, it's stalemate. Black cannot move. It's end of game. No moves at all. So the last remaining move, a4, was taken advantage of. Now, checking this with an engine, couldn't white escape this with the resourceful king a1? But in fact, this is also tricky because check. Oh, sorry, you want to say something, Paul? Yeah.
I think the key point here is that black shouldn't play queen takes a3 check, because that actually frees the a pawn to move.
Yes.
It actually removes the potential block of the pawn on a4.
Yes.
So queen takes a3 check is very bad.
As an engine bits as well. So checking is still a mate in 8 apparently.
Because then you can't sacrifice the pawn.
So once white escapes the checks, then that's going to be it, isn't it? After care, check. Oh well, that's a desperate move, because otherwise black is faced with the mate threat. So that will be the end of black, because the a pawn is providing a non-stalemate by that ability of the a pawn to move. So it's important not to take white's a pawn. That plays a pivotal role here. So assume this continuation, queen d1 check, and initially the engine evaluation is greater for white here still at 1.78, but it drifts down quite dramatically. The engine itself realises pretty soon.
Now, of course, if king b3, then a4 check again will lead to a draw.
Yeah, because if king b3, then a4 check, and all black has to do is simply sacrifice the queen anywhere.
But not on b4, because then knight takes b4 allows
oh,
d5.
sorry, pardon me. Be a bit careful though, because that's d5. Yes, not on bit, but queen b2 would do it, or queen c2 first.
Queen b2 is no good, but queen c2.
Queen c2 is okay. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't think queen b2 is any good, Paul?
With the pawn on a4, it's no good. Queen b2 now.
Oh, sorry. Yes. So queen d1 or queen c2 to carry on the checks.
Queen a5 check looks best, actually.
Queen a5 check.
Because then after king b3 we can just take the knight on d5.
Yes, that would be a stalemate as well. So that's interesting as well. That rook c2 would be virtually forced then. Otherwise there's a4 check. So rook c2. So it carries on now, and the engine evaluation is now saying plus 1.35. So let's go back here. So rook c2, queen d4 check.
And now if knight c3, remember, then queen b6 picks up the rook on d8.
Yes, we did some analysis earlier, and our blitz we had a mini blitz tournament, but here knight c3 is a huge blunder because of a check, and then taking on d8.
Well, black should probably win. It's close though.
Well, yeah, black's actually given an advantage now, so by the engine, a slight advantage. So so it's important not to retreat the rook there in that line. Sorry, the knight. So king c1. Now taking on e4, and all of a sudden also these pawns are now vulnerable.
The knight is also on pre's, of course.
And the knight's in pre. So that's why I think the engine is suggesting rook d2 to try and hold on to the knights, at least. But now a4 is a good move.
I don't. Why do we play a4? That's
well, apparently it's one of the better moves.
I would just take the pawn personally, but so why does it play a4? Is it to reintroduce stalemates? I don't know.
Well, it's the minimal advantage actually, because it's giving a4 or queen c4 as good for white here.
So after a4,
yeah,
what happens after, say, rook d7?
Well, the move it's giving is knight b4 actually. So say knight b4, but then queen takes h4, and something else happens strange in the evaluation now. I don't know if we played this incorrectly. I think the move we were exploring before was rook d5, but maybe white can just about retain the advantage with rook f8, apparently. Rook f8 in this position. But rook d5 would be close to, like, I don't know actually. It was saying rook d5, queen h3, and now it's changing its mind. It's a very tricky position. Shall we go back into that rook d5 line, because I think it's changed its mind. Earlier it was saying queen h3, so that's logically attacking a3. And the move given before was king c2. I'm not sure king c2 is the right move here to maintain the advantage, because then that loses a3 for not much. But king d2 has got an idea behind it here. This is very problem-like. So king d2, and now if queen takes a3 here, knight c2, and now white may actually have the advantage again. Say like this, and white's striving for the advantage. But it was all very, very tricky, really. In earlier engine analysis, just a bit briefer, just an inaccurate move like king c2, allowing queen takes a3. This would be dead equal now. For some reason, I think it just runs into perpetual checks, doesn't it? That would be the reason.
I would imagine if it says 0.00, then it's going to be a perpetual check.
Losing the rook there,
that's
even worse.
That's
and so if rook d4, this basically, I think it must be forcing some sort of queen g3. There's some issue with this position which wasn't present in the other one. Is it because the rooks, they have no time to do this for some reason because of losing that pawn, right?
I think the problem with what we're doing here is this position is so complex and black has so many potential perpetual checks that it can't analyse it quickly enough. So it's very difficult to actually get.
But apparently here, it seems on brief analysis, I'll put the fen for you guys with engines to check this out for yourself. But here it seems white has to play very delicately with king d2 to try and play that knight c2. So king d2, I'll be promoting that variation here actually in this PGN. I'll also give the PGN. So king d2 seems to be the way forward to maintain the advantage. So thankfully my honour is saved from not blowing it totally. In theory, from a theoretical perspective, it was still winning. Would you not agree then, Paul? Yeah?
I'm not sure at all. I think black should actually play queen takes h4 and take on g5.
Okay, let's see.
Rather than play a4, I should understand.
Okay, queen takes h4. You want to try queen takes h4. You're going to battle now with Deep Ribka. I've got Deep Ribka on the case. So rook f8.
And now I've taken g5.
You'll take on g5. Check.
King h6.
King h6. Rook f8. Now I'm threatening rook h8, mate.
Okay, so now I'll have to...
Remember, it's looking at the engine is saying plus 2.87. So I'm afraid Paul's drawing conception has been ruined with queen b3.
I don't know. There's so many possibilities. If you leave off for 10 minutes, you may say black's drawing.
No, I doubt it. Do you want to throw in a few checks? Queen G1, Queen C5?
I don't know what the best move is.
But, whoa, don't you trust the engine? It's on high depth here, 2.71.
Not necessarily, no.
But you don't want to carry on trying with the black pieces. You'll blow it here, wouldn't you? So for practical purposes, it was still winning with best play. If I avoided that main trick, if we go back to the final position, if he had played this, then the way to try and win would be to play King A1, it would seem. Then after the check, to play King B2, and after the check to play Rook C2, check King C1, and this preserves some winning chances, it would seem, anyway.
Well, it's certainly better.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that addendum analysis, but it was a brilliant discovery. I was totally shocked to discover, this idea. It's a very shocking idea. I thought we'd share it with you, and we're going to be looking at Alekhine versus Berlimu games now in the second half of the World Championship match. But we thought we'd do this first for a bit of light entertainment. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much. Do you want to say anything else, Paul?
No, have we gone?
Okay, no. Okay,
okay.
cheers.
Thank
Cheers
you.
then.